Welcome to the WindyCity Rundown. Yeah, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another great episode of the WindyCity Rundown. I am Eric Avila. That is Jose Contreras. We are live once again, guys. As always, please subscribe to our channel, to our show. Hit the little bell on our Facebook page just to get notified when our show is live. And follow us on all our social media platforms outside of Facebook and YouTube. Follow us on Instagram. Follow us on TikTok. Follow us on Twitter. Follow us on all our social media platforms. And Jose, I want to tell you something, my guy. Look, you know me. I'm a big proponent, and I will protect and I will say anything to make sure that you guys know and understand that my beautiful sport of soccer is the best sport in this whole entire world, right?
Right.
But it also has a few flaws in it, and yes, they have some moments in their life where some controversy around the game. Talk about Maradona in '86 in Mexico in the World Cup against England. Talk about the 2002 World Cup in South Korea and Italy, making South Korea advance to the semifinal. Messi this last World Cup with the handball. Damn, I just noticed something that fucking FIFA gave Argentina 2 World Cups with handballs. Huh, weird. Anyways. You go even to the club in Chelsea and Barcelona and Stamford Bridge in 07, Real Madrid and Bayern Munich in 17-16. There's many different ways where you can see where the game's kind of rigged, the game for a certain time. Bro, I think the NBA just surpassed everything what happened, yesterday or the day before with the NBA lottery with the Dallas Mavericks, man. And Jose, how are you today? But let's be honest. Let's call a spade a spade. When you see something that's fishy, bro, you just only deem to question it how real the NBA really is.
If it walks like a duck, if it talks like a duck, chances are it's a duck, Eric. And the NBA is rigged. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. There's no way in hell anybody on this earth can convince me otherwise. There's no way. Look, when I and you know what? You know what's funny? I said it on the show after it happened. I'm like, there's no way that the Dallas Mavericks did what they did and trade away their star and Luka Doncic. I said it. I was like, they have to be promised the number 1 pick or something. And sure enough, I'm laying down. Same exact setup. The same way I saw Connor Bedard come to Chicago in the draft lottery, I was watching the NBA lottery the same exact way. I was invested because, again, the Bulls had a 1.8 chance. I was like, okay, you know what? Or 1.7, whatever the fuck it was.
It was a very low percentage, I can tell you that much.
It was 1.7.
Yeah.
A 1.7 chance of getting the number 1 pick. I was like, you never know, right? Maybe they bring it for us, but jokingly, right? And
it was here in Chicago, by the way. It was in McCormick Place.
Yeah, it was in McCormick Place. It was one of my stops.
Nice.
But anyways, as it's going, I see that the Mavericks are in the top 4. I texted you and John right before it happened. I'm like, there's no fucking way. I literally said that there's no fucking way. If they get the number 1 pick, this was rigged from the jump, and they did, Eric. They did. And all these Bulls fans that pissing me off. Oh, we were a coin flip away from. No, we weren't. No, the fuck we weren't.
We were never close.
We weren't. This was settled the day they traded Luka to the Lakers, because that trade made no sense to nobody. To this day, it made no sense. It still makes no sense
to this day.
Other than the league knew that they had a ratings problem. They knew LeBron was way past his prime. They need the Lakers to be a legitimate team, even past LeBron.
100%.
And the only way for that to happen was to get a star there. Luka Doncic was that star. And in return, everybody made fun of Nico Collins. Everybody, or the GM, everybody made fun of him. Everybody said he was stupid and blah blah blah. And then this happens where they get the number 1 pick. It's It makes me not want to watch. I was so invested. I'm gonna watch some NBA basketball, like some playoff basketball, and I didn't. I know what happened has nothing to do with any of the teams there. I get
Right.
that, but it just leaves it leaves a sour taste in my mouth. And for all those people who are gonna come out here like, well, every sport is rigged. Yeah, I know, but at least they're not as blatant as this. This is I don't give a fuck about you type of energy from the NBA.
I do. You're absolutely right, my guy. And it's crazy because, like, I get it. You know, the irony, the going back of like, oh, the percentage of the Chicago Bulls. The same percentages of them getting Derrick Rose, the same percentages for the Bulls this year getting Cooper Flag and blah blah blah. This and that, right? And you're absolutely right. And honestly, you're probably right. The Mavs were guaranteed the number one pick. Excuse me. After the trade, and that's why they probably did what they did, which is fine, which is cool. That's fine by me. But also at the same time, bro, like the Bulls can't blame nobody but themselves. They wanted to win. They wanted to go into this play-in tournament. They wanted to keep the fans in the seats and all of us just for what? Just for us to still pick 12. A trade that we traded away, a pick that we got that was our own pick that we got from the Sacramento Kings. Like again, it's just bar none. It was just very stupid, very very dumb by the Chicago Bulls. We can't blame anybody. And then at this point, like what the NBA did, what they did, it is what it is, dude. I mean, at this point, it happened, and now it just puts into question every other pick that happened before, this trade, like the Derrick Rose one. Why didn't the Bulls get the same thing? Well, I honestly feel like the Bulls are the NBA, the league is out to get Jerry Reinsdorf because they had the best player ever in life in Michael Jordan here in Chicago, and somehow the Bulls found a way to fuck that shit up for them that they're not getting another number one pick, even though Jordan went number two, right?
I
Or
don't know. I don't know about that. I think the NBA picks and choose based off the market and when they feel they need a star there. Like if you look at LeBron going to the Cleveland Cavaliers was a really low chance. Kyrie going to the Cavaliers was a really low chance. Derrick Rose going to the Bulls was a really low chance. Patrick Ewing going to the Knicks was a really low chance. And
a
now
frozen envelope.
like
Look, bro, there's many different ways. And Tony, and we'd like to thank everybody hopping on, guys. The link is on the comment section if you guys want to join us on there. But Tony on here, he says, I think this is the only one I got. Mexico League is the worst. They robbed the Cox 110%. I get that. And there's many different stories out there too with other teams. The reason why there's no regulation in the Liga Mexicana anymore, like you have to buy your way in. That's a whole other thing. You said FDNBA, exactly right. And you damn right, it's rigged. It's 100% rigged, bro. And it's sad to say that it's like that because the NBA is a very popular sport for them not to even do it. And what sucks is that I think this should put a stop on NBA teams tanking because there's no point of sucking if you're not going to get the number one pick. Like the worst team, what was it? The Charlotte Hornets, the Washington Wizards, they're outside of the top 3 picking.
Yeah, and that's fine. I have no issue with that. They said they want to punish teams for tanking, and that's cool. I have no issue with that. There's no issue with that. But at the same time, don't ruin the integrity of what you're saying you're doing, the integrity of the game, the integrity of everything else, just because you wanted to try to fix ratings. Like, I don't know. I could honestly and proudly say this is probably the one year where I really haven't really been focused on the NBA and basketball. And yeah. Like I said, I was excited to actually like finally dabble into it with the playoff games that happened that day, and I was like, nope, I'm good.
Yeah, bro, it's crazy. It's crazy, man. And it wasn't. It was like in plain sight. Like we all jokingly said, "I'll watch the Mavericks get it." Like you said, bro, they got it. And what's crazy about it, like they don't even lose a step. They'll get Kyrie back in the beginning of next year. They still have a decent team in Klay Thompson, AD on their squad when they're healthy. You add a young superstar or young star as your number one pick in Cooper Flag. Like the Mavericks don't really miss a step, and it's crazy because now the Mavericks went from Dirk Nowitzki to Luka Doncic now to Cooper Flag in a span of like in 25 years. Like it's just crazy how well it's just how they got another superstar or potential superstar heading to their team. And offer what? Offer the Lakers to still somewhat stay relevant. Let's be honest, whether if you're Laker fans or not, the NBA needs the Lakers to be good in order for the ratings to be somewhat up. You're right. LeBron is getting old. They need a young superstar out west. Who's the best superstar out there that you could arguably say he's the best NBA player right now at the moment? Luka Doncic. Whether he's number one, number two, or number three, but he's out there. And he's in a very marketable team in the Los Angeles Lakers.
Yep.
I don't know, man. It's kind of weird. It's kind of weird, and it sucks that it happened that way. And to think that not a single soul outside of the Mavericks and outside of the Lakers think that it just happened by pure luck.
No, I think even their own fan bases know this was rigged. They just don't care, right? When it's rigged into your favor as a Mavericks fan, you're like, well, cool.
Okay, cool.
You know? Right.
But now it's just like, well, okay, yeah. It's crazy. Tony on Facebook, he goes and he says, let's join the bull cut next year. Don't show up. Tony, I've been way ahead of you, my guy.
Yeah, right. We haven't showed up to bull.
I haven't showed up nor cared about the Chicago Bulls in about we can say 3.5 years, you know? Because I was in the same boat with us when we first got DeMar DeRozan and Lonzo Ball, Luka Vucevic when he got traded the year when they were first place in the East. Like I was on that train. Then I got off of it real quick. So it's unfortunate. The Bulls took 12, and it just shows how shitty this organization is from top to bottom, from the last man on the bench to the man who's running the whole entire organization. And to be quite completely honest, I think we might bring back the sports mulligan.
Season 2, baby.
Season 2. See, the only way this will work if somehow, some way Jerry Reinsdorf sells the team. That's the only way I'll stick around. Nah, that's going to be an impossibility.
The Bulls got the number 12 pick, like all that, and you're still not even top 10. It's wild.
It's like that's what. Hey, look, you guys were excited, and it's great to see the young kids play. It was great. It was fun. It just sucked for them that they continue on winning and they went on that streak because they put themselves in a position where now they can't even draft a very high-rated player in a very deep draft. I think everybody would have forgiven everything that the Chicago Bulls, how crappy or how shitty they would have been this past couple of years, and how shitty how they just did everything for the last couple of years. If they would really just hit the reset button this year, because this draft class is like 8 players deep, and the Bulls are going to miss out on one of those key players. A player that you could, I mean, whether they know how to develop or not, this player is just another conversation for another day.
Right.
But again, at least it gives us some type of hope to come back and just be like, all right, Bulls, I guess I'm interested because you did the right thing. They didn't even do that. And I'm not even interested. And
let's get to the brass tacks, to the meat and potatoes of tonight's show, Eric.
Fuck this team. Fuck the Chicago Bulls.
Before that, right? Adam Silver, you're a cunt. And Rob Manfred, you're there too. Now all of a sudden you motherfuckers want to bring in Pete Rose to the Hall of Fame because he passed away? You took that lifetime ban seriously. You asshole. Damn.
Yeah, that shit was fucking crazy, bro. Like, the dude was your best player for years. Like, he was still talked about for decades, even after he finished playing in the 70s or in the 80s, bro. Like,
crazy. Now you want to put him in the Hall of Fame, Mike, so you can get a lot of those royalties?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, it's crazy, man. It sucks. Literally, okay, yeah, he's good. Just for him not to get a speech, just for him not to, accept his head, his bust into the Hall of Fame. It's just so dumb. Like, baseball is so ass backwards. And you can honestly say it's probably like one of the most marketable sports out there because we can actually see the fucking faces of the players.
It's crazy.
It's fucking ridiculous. And Tony goes on and said the owner is a joke. His baseball team and his baseball team sucks. And I'll talk about Jerry Reinsdorf. Yeah. He was so pissed about that. Fuck them. So
yeah. Rob Manfred and Adam Silver, you guys both suck.
Yeah, you guys are literally on the shit list.
Literally.
It is what it is.
As much shit people give Roger to Goodell, at the very least, he knows what the fuck he's doing.
and he knows how to, and he knows how to rig it underneath, bro. Like
Exactly.
he
Look,
knows how to
we,
do it,
we
bro.
know that NFL's rigged, but at least they know how to hide it,
They
goddamn.
know how to hide it, and you can say whatever you want
Damn.
to say. Yeah, bro, y'all put it plain and sight right then and there. He said P Rose was a beast. I mean, hey, for someone that people actually saw him play, that was the thing. Like the Red Machine, I think they won what 2 World Series back to back years on that big Red Machine out in Cincinnati back in the '70s, bro. Like that team is still being talked about today as being one of the best baseball teams that ever played, that ever graced the sport of baseball, bro. Just because how they hit, how they played, how they hustled, how it's just they really were that team in the mid '70s, bro. And Pete Rose was one of it. You know, I think Pete Rose was a guy who went all out on an All-Star game and kind of like ended a catcher's career. If I'm stand corrected, like I think that was Pete Rose that did that, bro. That's just
Wild.
wild, wild. Guys, if you want to be like Tony, join us in the comment section too as well. The link is also in the comment section. If you guys want to join us, follow us. We are talk about how rigged the NBA is. How do you guys feel? Do you guys really do feel like it's rigged, or do you guys actually think that this actually was actually good? Was actually serious? Was it was meant to be? The basketball gods fell to the Dallas Mavericks on Monday here in Chicago, giving them the number one pick. Or are you just like us? No matter what conspiracy theory it is, it's just been all true after that the Mavericks and the Mavericks were guaranteed the number one pick, trading Luka Doncic to the Lakers. Tony said I saw them play when he was young, but he remembers. I mean, yeah, all we got for us is just YouTube videos and stories of baseball pastime. So, I mean, hey, Pete Rose, unfortunately, will be in the Hall of Fame, but he will not be there himself to see his bust on there. And what should be like? They fuck up his face. Like that'll be some crazy shit. Like, yeah, we accepted him, but let's not really make it fully Pete Rose. Let's just make
No,
it look somewhat like Pete
I
Rose.
don't think they would plan to do that. If that happens, it's more of the sculptor. But
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. All right, guys, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. This is the time of year where we all feel like we're all smart, but then we're all dumb at the same time. With this conversation of the NFL of the schedule release, this is where we just kind of lose our sports intelligence for a little bit, and we all just kumbaya together and just find out what is the best record for the Chicago Bears in the middle of May before the preseason starts. So this is all pre-draft. I mean, this is all post-draft. And Jose, today is that day. Today is the day that the Chicago Bears schedule release came out. And Jose, let me tell you, we were first worried about the schedule when it came out last year about not the schedule, about the opponents when it came. Excuse me. Wow, what's wrong with me? When it came out last year, who we were gonna play, but Jose, you and I before we started the show, we were talking about it doesn't look as bad as we once thought. As we riled up, let's get it, Jose.
Only, and we feel that way only because of what's been happening this off season with a lot of the teams that we're facing.
Yes,
I feel like if stuff stayed the way it was, it'd probably be different. But because 100%. A lot of these teams don't even have legitimate quarterbacks. There's a lot of teams that we're facing. We don't know who's going to be QB1.
110%.
And that right there is good for the Bears. We're catching lightning in a bottle right now.
100%. All right, Jose. Week 1, the Miami Dolphins here in Chicago.
Hold on, because I'm writing it all down on my notes. I'm going because I'm a visual guy.
Gotcha. Well, let's start with week number 1, Jose, when they place against the Miami Dolphins here at Soldier Field.
Damn right.
What do you? I'm just kidding. That's preseason. The preseason games for the Chicago Bears for 3 weeks are the Miami Dolphins, the Buffalo Bills, and the Kansas City Chiefs.
Right, I'm ready now.
You know what's the crazy part about it? All 3 preseason games will be here in Soldier Field. The Bears will not go anywhere for the preseason. They'll stay in Chicago. Oh, no, I'm lying. I'm sorry. At Kansas City. Sorry. So they're against the Dolphins, against the Bills here, and then they go to Kansas City for the final preseason game on the 22nd of August. Those are the 3 preseason games. Jose, you ready for this? Yep. Are you ready?
Ready.
Week number 1, Jose, for the first time, and I think in Bears history, the Chicago Bears open up the season against the Minnesota Vikings. on Monday Night Football. Wow, that's crazy, bro. The Vikings and the Bears on Monday night to cap off week 1 of the season. And Jose, it's a very interesting storyline. Like you said, it's one of those teams that we don't know who QB1 is. We do not know who's going to be there. Is it going to be JJ McCarthy if he's going to be healthy? Is it going to be one of the other 7 quarterbacks that they got coming into the season? Jose, the defense is still good in Minnesota, and that offense with Jay Jettis in that team, anything could happen. But it's the home opener. It is, and for some reason, I feel like the Bears only play the Vikings at home on Monday night. Is it just me, or is that just a coincidence?
No, it's
No,
it's in a division. It's two teams who were on the rise last year, so I think it makes sense.
I guess so. So Jose, let's start off this conversation about the Chicago Bears and their season and their record for the first time this year. We'll probably do this 2 more times afterwards before the season starts.
This is exactly what I. This is exactly the record I thought I was going to give them. I'm so toxic.
But Jose, week 1 in Chicago on the lakefront, Monday Night Football, the Bears, the Vikings, and you got the Bears.
That's a dub, Eric. We are going to win our home opener. We're going to win our home opener. I'm going to be 1-0 against the Vikings. We don't know who their quarterback's going to be. If it is JJ McCarthy coming out of an injury, this is going to be his rookie year. He's going to need to get used to this NFL speed. You have Caleb in the first year of a brand new offense, but in his second year overall, he's already used to it. I think the Bears offense is what is the deciding factor here against the Minnesota Vikings. They have players, they have great coaching. I just think coming out of the gate, the Bears at home with the momentum from beating the Green Bay Packers last year at the end of the season is
well,
going to come in
this year, but whatever.
You get what I'm saying. Is going to come in and get that dub for the home crowd.
100%. I feel you. I'm right with you on that one. I think for the home opener, the Chicago Bears are probably the big favorites here, and for the exact same reason, we don't know what quarterback is going to be there. JJ McCarthy, like you said, coming off of the major knee surgery that replaced his whole entire knee this past offseason or last offseason, after winning the national title with the Michigan Wolverines. But you're absolutely right, Jose. I think this defense, we don't know what type of offense the Minnesota Vikings will bring out. Don't be surprised if Kevin O'Connell does something different and it becomes a lot more closer or it becomes a little bit more interesting simply because we don't know the element of surprise. But at the end of the day, I think the Chicago Bears are good enough on both sides of the ball. They improved defense. They have improved a little bit on the defense side of the ball. And obviously what they got on the offense side of the ball is going to be very exciting to see what Ben Johnson has. I also got the Bears winning the game on the Monday Night Football home opener for the Chicago Bears, season opener for the Chicago Bears. The Bears are going 1-0 against the Vikings. The following week, it's a little weird. We don't see division games this early in the season, and even in back-to-back divisional games. But this one's a little bit more interesting, Jose, as the Bears go to Detroit, a 4-hour trip, and Ben Johnson returns to the Detroit Lions, where he made his name for himself in a very difficult environment and a very difficult team to come up against. And his first real road test in the NFL as a head coach. Jose, do you have the Bears upsetting the Lions on the road, or are we starting off the season, the first 2 games of the season 1-1?
Real quick, Tony said that Vikings game will be the game that will set how our season will be. Unless he's talking about this one, the Lions. Unless he's talking about the Lions.
This one, okay.
Which makes more sense. Here's the thing. This game's going to be crazy because there's so much bad blood between the fan bases right now. The Lions fans hate Bears. They hate the team. They hate Ben Johnson. They hate us for celebrating, taking away a lot of their coaching staff. This game, I agree. If Tony meant this game will set the tone for the season.
100%.
However, let's not, just because the Lions lost a step, let's not forget who the hell they are. And they still have their head coach, who's an amazing head coach. I think the Bears get humbled.
Humbled. Sit down. Kendrick.
It's because there's going to be so much hype after that first win in Minnesota. They're going to come to Detroit, and they get humbled. I can see it being competitive. I'm not saying the Lions are going to blow us out. I'm just talking about, hey, cool it. Like, we're still the division champs here. We're still the team to beat. I think the Lions at their home beat the Bears spoiling Ben Johnson's return, setting up a rivalry that's going to be crazy for the next couple of years.
Okay. Jose, I got the Bears 2-0. I got the Bears 2-0 coming out the season strong, my guy. I think this is a statement for Ben Johnson, and knowing that the hoopla, whatever they got, whatever happened to Matt Eberflus the last time they were there in Detroit, he is going to call a timeout. He's going to be a pivotal point in that game. He knows that the focus is on him coming back home to Detroit, where he made a name for himself. He knows these players' weakness on defense. He also knows how this offense is going to be and what are the players' weak tendencies are on the offense side of the ball that he coached for 3 years. Don't get me wrong. The Lions are a good team. The Lions are going to have a step back this season because of the coaching staff that they lost, Jose. But let me tell you something right now. This game, these players are going to be in it for him. They're going to win this game for Ben Johnson. They are going to come out strong against the Detroit Lions at home and ruin their home opener. I think that's their home opener. I'm not 100% sure, but I don't give a shit. The fact that the Bears are going to come in and get this dub for Ben Johnson, the Bears are going to be 2-0 this year, starting off the season.
I don't see it. They'll be 1-1.
I don't either. It's 1-1. I wouldn't be surprised if they're 1-1 either, my guy.
You did all that just to come on, bro.
Nah, but the Bears are. I honestly feel like the Bears are going to come up winning this game, bro. I do. I really do. I think the Bears are going to come out 2-0 this year. That's how they're going to start off.
Oof, man,
hey,
sorry.
You're right there.
Yeah.
You good?
Yeah. So we both got them at 1-1.
No, I got them 2-0. I literally got them 2-0.
I got them 1-1. I got them 2-0. I think the Lions come and punch him in the mouth. That kind of show him, like, little brother them a little bit, like, hey,
I get it. I get it. Would be.
You know what I mean? But
yeah.
But I think it's still a competitive game for sure.
100%. Excuse me. I think whatever you had, you gave it to me. Shit.
Sorry.
All right, Jose. Next week. This is, again, the Bears season is going to be a little wonky at times because of like the start times and everything, right? We got the Monday night at 7:15, then we come back to a 12 o'clock game. Then we come back home against the Dallas Cowboys, who apparently they only play at 3:25 every fucking Sunday.
I'm surprised that the Lions at the first game against the Lions is a 12 o'clock game.
Same, me too. I'm literally surprised that the Bears are playing at Detroit, knowing the circumstances of what the game is and how the game really is going to feel like, and it's a 12 o'clock game on a random ass Sunday. Like they couldn't even put this in prime time.
That's why I think it's just prime for the Lions just to win. Because
I mean, I guess so, but I mean, in my personal opinion, bro, like this is also a perfect opportunity. I feel like the Bears are going to come out swinging. But Jose, even with the high emotional, like everything that the Chicago Bears went through against the Detroit Lions, bro, this is where I feel like they're going to stumble against the Dallas Cowboys. The Dallas Cowboys that, Jose, we never know what the Cowboys are going to be. The Cowboys have this amount of talent with Dak Prescott's quarterback, however you want to view him. When he's healthy, he's probably a top 10 quarterback in the league. With CeeDee Lamb on one side, then they got George Pickens again. They still have probably one of the best defensive players in Michael Parsons on the defensive side of the ball. Like, this team really did a decent job in building their team in the offseason and in the draft. And I can see after a very high emotional game that the Bears beat the Detroit Lions, I can see them getting humbled by the Cowboys, losing a very close game against the Cowboys at home. And I can see the Bears being 2-1 at this point.
All right. Eric got them at 2-1. Hold on. So Eric got them at 2-1. I have them winning. So remember, I had them losing to the Lions, I have them coming to Dallas winning against the Cowboys because of what you said. I agree. You don't know what Cowboys team's going to show. We don't know what kind of Cowboys team we're going to see this season. They could be a juggernaut in the regular season and choke in the playoffs, or they could just be an all-around bad team and don't make the playoffs. I personally don't. Regardless, even with the addition of George Pickens, I still don't think it's enough for this Cowboys team to just compete with the big boys. I think the Bears beat the Cowboys here at home.
Oh, okay. So we both have the Bears 2-1 in the first 3 games of the season, but we have them very differently.
Yeah.
Okay. I like it. The Bears 2-1 both. Jose got them. Jose got them beating the Cowboys. I got them losing the Cowboys if the Bears actually go on this high roller coaster ride. But we will see. But both 2-1 at this point. Okay. All right, Jose. Week 4. I don't know. This seems a little too good to be true. This doesn't seem like a very complicated trip going out west to Las Vegas against the Raiders on a team again doesn't know who the quarterback is. We don't know what the Las Vegas Raiders are. They have some decent players on that squad, but they have a lot of turmoil going on that team. We don't know what Tom Brady's influence is going to be with this team, how this team is going to come out. I think the Raiders, to me personally, are going to be this year one of the worst teams in the NFL, in my humble opinion. I could be wrong. We could be wrong. It's just an opinion. I don't give a shit. But I think that the Bears are going to go out west to the Vegas and actually come out and win in this game against the Raiders quite comfortably. Because again, I don't know what the hell the Las Vegas Raiders are.
Okay, so you have a win. I also have a win against the Raiders.
Okay.
I'm opposite of you though. I think the Raiders take a step forward this season. I think this year they're gonna show that they're gonna be a really good young team. I think it's gonna be a competitive game. I still give the advantage to the Bears because I feel like this team has already been established as far as players wise. I mean, we know what we're going to get out of Caleb Williams. We don't know what we're going to get out of that offense from Oakland. I mean, from Las Vegas. Sorry. So I think the Bears get a dub.
Okay. Okay.
But I think it's a competitive game against the Raiders, a Raiders team that's on up and up. So I think we both got them 3-1.
3-1. Yeah.
Yep.
All right. This at first when I looked at it, it kind of made sense on why they got a bye. Obviously, new head coach, new system, new a little everything. Just let him get a little comfortable with the NFL, being a new head coach for the first time, and so on and so forth. But then I look at it and it's kind of like, damn, week 5 already. The Bears are gonna get the first bye of the NFL season right away. It kind of pissed me off because I think momentum is gonna be a real key here.
Yeah.
And obviously, I'm always a big believer, like, hey, you got somebody like a young staff or something like that. Let them play out a little bit. Let them build a little bit of momentum, especially if they're doing something really good. And for me, that the Bears are going to be, for us right now at this time of day, that the Bears being 3-1, this is a bad time for the Bears to have a bye. Fortunately, they have a bye week 5. I really don't like that. Am I wrong in believing in that, or is a bye for the Bears?
You and I are both on the same page. Because remember, I had them back-to-back wins with the Cowboys and Raiders going into the bye, killing their momentum, and they have the Commanders next, coming out of the bye.
Yeah.
And to me, I think they lose that game because of the bye. I think the bye serves them wrong here. I think they lose at Washington against the Commanders, which sucks because I know the Bears fans really want revenge of what happened last season. I just don't think we get it here. Washington's only gotten better. They're only going to be better.
Yeah.
So unless Jaden Daniels get hurt, hopefully he doesn't. Right? You never want to see that. But unless barring injury there, I have the Commanders picking up that win.
Yeah, 100% too. I'm right with you on that one. It may not be Hail Mary-esque, but I think it's going to be a competitive game.
Yeah.
And just like you said, I think the Bears are going to come off with a chip on their shoulder. Will we be surprised if the Bears come out with a win in this game? No, 100% not, because of that same reason, right? Yeah. And the crazy part about that this game, they finally did this game right. That's on a Monday Night Football game. Another Monday Night Football game for the Chicago Bears this upcoming season. And the Bears season, like I said, is going to be really wonky because of the schedule, how it lines up with them. And this one being on the Monday night on the road to the Commanders, it's going to be a high-intensity game off a bye, knowing that every single player that suffered that Hail Mary loss are going to come off with a chip on their shoulder. You're absolutely right. The Commanders got better on defense and on offense. They traded for Deebo Samuel. Can he stay healthy? Can he catch the ball? Another weapon for Jaden Daniels. Another year of experience with Jaden Daniels. Again, I think you and I are on the same page. The Bears are going to lose this one in a very tight game. And hopefully it's not a last-second drive like it was last year. But again, it has that making of that type of game. Yeah. But I do see the Bears losing this one too as well. So you and I both have them at 3-2.
3-2 going into week. What is this?
Week 7.
Week 7.
They come back home for the first time in a couple weeks against the New Orleans Saints. They just lost Derek Carr.
Yeah.
He just announced his retirement.
Yep.
What quarterback, again, you said it in the very beginning when we started doing this, the Bears have a lot of teams this year that we don't even know who QB1 really is. And we don't know who QB1 is for the Saints. I don't even think it's Tyson Hill even the quarterback anymore. I don't even know.
If I'm not mistaken, I think they drafted somebody. I'm not too sure. Don't quote me on it. But
You're probably right.
but with that being said, I just think this is a not a rebuilding year for the New Orleans Saints, but a find. They need to find who they are type of year.
Right. I hear you.
You know what I mean? And with them right now not having an established QB1, I think that's only going to hurt them this season throughout the
Right.
entire season.
Right.
So I think this is a good bounce back game for the Bears after losing to the Commanders. They come home and they beat the Saints, who are right for the pickings.
All right. 100%. We both got them at 4-2. And you're absolutely right, Jose. I think this game's a one of those easy layup games for the Chicago Bears. A few of them that they have this upcoming season in the 2025-26 season. They actually do come out and getting a win. Guys, if you want to join us on our on our show, the link is right here in the comments. Guys, make sure you follow us on all our social media platforms on Facebook and on YouTube. Hit the little bell to get notified when our shows are live. And yeah, comment. We're talking about the Bears. The NFL schedule came out today. It was released today. The Bears schedule looks a little bit not as bad as we once thought it, or when we thought about it last year, but we're giving out our early picks of the record this year. Right now, Jose and I both have the Bears at 4-2. A little different, but still 4-2 nonetheless. And Jose, this is where it gets a tad bit difficult for our beloved Chicago Bears. Two back-to-back road games against two AFC North teams that are up there, the upper echelon of the NFL and of that division. First off, at week 8, they go on the road to Baltimore against the Ravens, against the superstar Lamar Jackson and that team, who looks to me, I think this is my team coming out of this out of the AFC to go to the Super Bowl this year. I think they have a point to prove. Derrick Henry got signed a new 2-year deal today as well for the Ravens, so that's an even more hungry team.
Yep.
Jose, I think this is pretty much easy. I honestly feel like the Bears are going to get blown out in this game. I don't think defensively they have enough to, one, even contain Lamar Jackson, but two, can even contain a quarterback in this NFL with that defensive line. I don't think they have enough pressure coming off of that defensive line against any quarterback. Now we're just going based off this of pure talent, but now we're getting to the upper echelon of quarterbacks, and I think this is where the Bears are going to be exposed on that defensive line side of the ball.
Well, I think
I got the Bears losing this one, and the Bears being 4-3 at this point.
I think they get exposed against the Commanders. I think Jaden Daniels shows them. I think going into this game, we're already going to kind of see this defense as the weakness of the team a little bit.
Yeah.
The defensive line. So I agree.
I can see that too as well.
I agree. That's going to be the narrative coming in. It's can the offense keep up with the Ravens offense? But the Ravens defense is a really good defense too. So for that reason, I picked the Ravens for sure. I think the Ravens come out with a win. It's going to be a really tough game, away game. For any team to go in and to go to Baltimore and try to get a win, it's going to be tough for anybody, especially for our beloved. So yeah, I also got them losing here, which puts us at what 1, 2, 3.
I got you at 4-3.
4-3. Yep.
Yeah, I'm writing it down as we go, my guy. So I got you. Don't worry.
Yeah, 4-3.
Yeah, and the losing streak continues. I don't think the Bears are even good enough to even contain the offense of the Cincinnati Bengals. They're going to throw with Joe Burrow, with T. Higgins, with Jamar Chase, with Tyler Boyd. That offensive, their air threat that the Cincinnati Bengals can throw, and especially on the road. Now, look, maybe this is going to be a high-scoring game, and the offense is going to go off on the limb because the Cincinnati Bengals cannot stop anybody, and I don't even think they even upgraded on the defensive side of the ball to even attempt to stop the opposing offensive team. So I could see this game to be, if you want some gambling advice from us, this game, whatever the point total is, go the over.
Hit the over.
The over on that one. So, but I still believe and I still feel that the Bears are going to lose this game because I don't think they have enough on the offense side of the ball just yet, or at least that experience of working together just as much as the Bengals have for the last couple of years to beat the Cincinnati Bengals on the road.
Now, here's the thing. I look at it differently. I think the Bengals don't have enough defensively to contain the Bears' offense. I think the Bears establish their offense coming in. I definitely think it's going to be a shootout, just like you said. I do give the nod to the Bengals. I do have the Bengals winning, only because of Joe Burrow and the experience there. Mm-hmm. But Eric, I would not be surprised at all
If the Bears pull off a
if
win,
the Bears pull off a win. This is one of those games where I was debating. I'm like, I'm not going to be toxic here. As much as I'm going to be, as much as I feel like the Bears will win, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to root against Joe Burrow.
yeah,
Um,
100%.
so
And I
I
get you too
I
because
also have
I sort of kind of feel the same way too. Because it's one of those games where anything could happen.
yeah.
And maybe we could get the Bengals on an off day that day because we don't know who the Bengals play the week prior or the week after that.
Yeah.
But I could definitely see it, bro. I could see that too, that the Bears could kind of sneak away with a win. But it's gonna be tough. As how I see it right now at this point of the Chicago Bears, right now, I don't see them probably beating any of the upper echelon teams because defensively, I don't think they have it.
Well,
Uh,
this going into this game against the Bengals is gonna be very reminiscent of last year. Because remember, they were 4-2 when they went to the Commanders and lost that and went on that losing streak afterwards.
yeah,
Now the way you and I had it, we had them 4-2 going against the Ravens, losing to the Ravens and losing to the Bengals. So it's gonna be very reminiscent of last season, where we're gonna be like, oh my god, like this is where we were last year, and we kind of fell off the rails here. But I think it only gets better from here on out.
100% because they got against probably one of the worst teams in the NFL and the New York Giants. Russell Wilson is the quarterback of the Giants. If that means anything,
they're better than last year.
They got Malik Neighbors. I mean, they're a little bit better than last year, but I still think that the Giants are going to be the worst team in the NFC East. I don't know how everybody's fighting for their job at this point in New York, even from Russell Wilson, who just got there, to who is it? Is it Dayball? Is it Dayball that's the right? The coach for the Giants. Everybody's gonna be fighting for their lives at this point. But I don't think the Giants could probably, with Russell Wilson right now, can probably put up a fight. I mean, you saw him put up a fight last year with the Pittsburgh Steelers in this tail half coming in for Justin Fields.
Yeah.
I still feel the same way, but talent-wise, the Chicago Bears have a little bit more talent on the offense side of the ball and just have just enough talent to stop them on the defensive side of the ball. The Bears come back home. They get right back on track. They get a W against the Giants. I got them at 5-4.
Like you and I are we're very in lockstep on how careful we want to be here.
Yeah.
But we also read the tea leaves, so to speak, right?
100%.
I agree. Now, I would say I have the Giants losing. I have the Bears winning. I would say this though, okay? I feel like this game after back-to-back losses is going to define the rest of the way the season's going to go. You and I both have a win. I feel like we both think positively of how this season's going to go this year. But if they come out and lose to this Giants team, I think that's a warning. That's kind of like a glimpse into a future for the rest of the season, that we're not as good as we think we are, and this is probably going to fall off the rails.
I hear you. I think you're probably right, but I want to say from what I've seen so far from Ben Johnson is I don't think he'll get as bad as it was with Eberflus last year.
Yeah.
I do see Ben Johnson, if something goes awry with the Chicago Bears this year, I do believe he's going to put his foot down and just, throw a few F-bombs at a press conference to be like, nah, this ain't like last year. Like, y'all motherfuckers better wake the fuck up. If y'all want to play for the Chicago Bears, you have to play like you want to be with the Chicago Bears. At least that's the little that I've seen Ben Johnson, that's going to be his saying.
I agree with you, but until I see it personally, it's going to be hard for me to believe it. I have to see it, and it's only because of the years. It's only because of the years and years of trauma that we've been through as Bears fans. You know what I mean? That's only why I have a little bit of skepticism there. So
I 100%, bro. I get you. I know what you mean too, because I mean, this feels different from a coaching staff perspective.
Yes,
but it's at the end of the day, you're right. It's still the same old fucking Chicago Bears.
Like last year it felt different because of Caleb Williams. Like we went, but we kind of just overlooked the coaching staff and how bad it was going to be. This year, we still have Caleb Williams, who we both feel is the franchise quarterback of the future, and now we have what we feel should be a legitimate head coach. So yes, there should be, in my opinion, there should be more hype this season than there was last season. Mm-hmm. But the trauma that we have kind of deters that a little bit.
Yeah, 100%, dude. Right. If there's any team this year that the Chicago Bears can get a sweep, is against the Minnesota Vikings. And week 11 on the road at Minnesota. We don't know what type of team Minnesota is going to be in by then. But I still believe that the Bears are going to sweep the Minnesota Vikings this year on the road and at home. Week 11, the Bears are coming off with a win against the Minnesota Vikings. I can see them winning this game, going 6-4 in the season, back-to-back wins to kind of ease the blow of losing to the Bengals and the Ravens 2 weeks prior.
Okay. I think opposite. I think the Bears split
really?
with each division opponent this year. So I have them losing against the Vikings here. I think they got to win at home against the Vikings. I think they go away to Minnesota and lose there. I think by this time, this Vikings team has established themselves. JJ McCarthy has shown that he is a legitimate quarterback. He's a lot more comfortable. It's not the first game of the season, so the Vikings do pull out a win here against the Chicago Bears, which puts me at what's the record there?
You have them at 5-5.
5-5. Yeah, right there at 500. Yep.
All right, cool.
You got them where? 6-4?
I got them 6-4.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. All right, Jose. Justin Fields comes back to. Oh wait, he's not the quarterback of the Steelers anymore.
Sure.
Nope. All right, this is sure.
All right, cool. Where's the quarterback there? That's the
Aaron
question.
Rodgers is. Oh wait, no wait. They don't have Aaron Rodgers.
And Russell Wilson's not there no more either.
Russell Wilson's not there anymore, bro. Who's going to be the quarterback?
Another team we don't know. Another team that at the moment doesn't have a legitimately established QB1.
Not at all. They have a bunch of guys on the staff just having quarterback next to their name as a title.
And look, the coaching we know is great. That team's going 100%. Going to be well coached. It's going to be disciplined. It's going to be a tough out for anybody, no matter who's under center. We know that, but talent wins on the field, and even with two decent quarterbacks in Fields and Russell Wilson, the Steelers had even though they had another winning season, right? It was still pretty rough for them. They weren't as impressive. So I think they take a step back this year. I think the Bears get a dub there, Eric.
I do too. I believe the Steelers get a dub with Justin Fields returning to Chicago.
The Bears get a dub, you mean?
No, wait, my bad. Right, Justin Fields is not in Pittsburgh.
Wait,
anymore.
who do you have? You said the Steelers get a dub. You have the Steelers?
I'm sorry, the Bears get a dub. I'm sorry. I apologize. I'm sorry for that. All right, Jose, this one.
Wait, so you have we both have the Bears beating the Steelers. So what record you got them at?
I got them at 7-4.
And I have them at 6-5.
6-5.
There you go. Okay.
Yes, sir. Jose, we are going to be lucky and blessed that we are both going to be off from work on Friday after Thanksgiving. And we are going to sit back and relax on Black Friday at 2:00, watching the Bears getting their ass whooped by the Philadelphia Eagles on the road.
We don't know that. Anything can happen.
Anything can happen. My question to you, though, is do you think that the Eagles will probably have a setback, get that Super Bowl hangover and whatnot, and just kind of be like mid or average or, an above average team? Or, the Eagles are going to be the Eagles and kind of handle their business on why they're going to show their dominance of being the best team in the NFC?
I think the Eagles, bar an injury, if they're healthy or if they're relatively healthy, then yes, I think they're going to be a dominant team, and I think they definitely beat the Bears here. Regardless, I have them winning. I have the Eagles winning. I have the Bears losing. It's gonna be a really good test for the Bears for this Ben Johnson led team, Caleb Williams. I think this is a great test to see where they're at. I had them at 6-5 coming in here. You have them at 7-2. So that's basically prime. You have them at prime contenders. You have them prime contenders. 7-2 is no laughing matter, right? I have them at 6-5.
No, I have them 7-4.
Sorry. 7-4 is still pretty good. You have a 7-4, which is a good record. I have them 6-5, just a little bit above 500. Average team. So yeah, I think this will be a good test for them. I mean, I do think they lose here. I think they go back to 500 at 6-6.
Okay, cool. 6-6. I kind of seen that. All right, Jose. Caleb Williams is going back home. And by home, he's going back to Green Bay, where he has not lost a game so far in his NFL career against the Green Bay Packers. And Jose, this is going to resonate a lot. This rivalry is going to be a hot start for the Chicago Bears and the Green Bay Packers simply because of what Caleb Williams did to end the season of 25 and the beginning of this year. This is going to be – I honestly feel like this is going to be a bloodbath. I honestly feel like both of these guys are going to throw everything at each other. I think Matt LaFleur is going to show like why he's still the cream of the crop of the NFC North, and I think Ben Johnson is going to show that hey, there's a new sheriff in town, and I'm going to be in it. And I think this game is going to be a fucking amazing at Lambeau at 12 o'clock at Week 14. I just feel like the Packers are going to edge out a little bit and beat the Bears on the road at home against the Bears because I don't think defensively the Bears have enough to stop a Green Bay Packers team who improved offensively this offseason.
I think the Bears, at least between the Lions and Packers, get humbled their first showing. And again, I just think we're too up on our high horse. There's been a lot of shit has been talked.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Both sides. There's going to be a very heated rivalry, which is good, which is great, right? Because I feel like nobody took the Bears seriously, and I feel like they're taking them seriously this year. So, I do agree. I have the Packers winning. I have the Packers winning this game here in Lambeau, getting their lick back from earlier this year. And they're going to talk a lot of shit, but that's fine because I feel like the Bears will have the last laugh at the end of the day. So, which puts me at what? Now I have them at a losing record. No, 6-7.
Now you have them at losing record at 6-7. I have them at 7-6.
And you have them at 7-6. So we're opposite. I have them 6-7. You have them 7-6.
Yeah, 100%. And I think you got the Bears probably back at 500. And this game at home against the Cleveland Browns, another team that doesn't even know what quarterback they're going to have. Are they going to start Sanders? Are they going to start Deshaun Watson? Is Joe Flacco their quarterback? Hell, they got what's his name? One of the other quarterbacks, Kenny Pickett. They have a bunch of quarterbacks on their team. The team's still not even good enough offensively to compete with anybody, but they still got Myles Garrett.
Yeah.
You know, so, and they got Mason Graham. So defensively, they're going to be there. Solid. They're going to wreak havoc on the defensive end of the ball. But I still believe that the Bears have enough offensively.
Let's not forget Travis Hunter.
Oh, Travis Hunter. Yeah. Sorry. They didn't get
player,
But I still think the Bears edge out the Cleveland Browns here. I think the Browns are going to have so much problems this year. I think the circus of the Cleveland Browns is just going to ruin their season this year. About Shedeur Sanders if he's going to start. If is the dude that they picked before him in the third round, is he going to start? Is Joe Flacco going to start? What are they going to do with Deshaun Watson? This team is going to have a whole circus around them this whole entire season. And the Browns, I think the Browns are going to come here and lay an egg against the Bears. The Bears are going to win this game. I got the Bears at 8-6.
I agree with having all those quarterbacks. When one is having a bad game, is put in him. They're going to be clamoring for, of course, Shedeur. I'm rooting for Shedeur Sanders. I love the chip on the shoulder that he has coming in with where he was drafted. I feel like he needed that. He needed that little humbling experience there in the draft. But I think it's only going to benefit him going in to his NFL career. So I'm rooting for him for sure. I'm rooting for him. But I agree. The Bears went to get a dub here. I think there's just so much distractions with the Cleveland Browns, with all the quarterbacks and all the question marks there with that team. So yeah, I think the Bears definitely pick up a win, putting them back over 500. Back at 500.
Yeah, back at 500.
7-7. So yeah, I got my 7-7 after that.
Cool. All right. Packers come back to Chicago. Revenge game for the Chicago Bears.
Yep.
I got the Bears winning.
Yep, I agree. I think this is. I said I have them splitting, so they win this game. They show who the fuck they are. This stretch where they have 3 out of the last 4 games at home is only going to be beneficial for the Bears. I think this is where they separate themselves from what people think they could have been. I think this is where they show and they make that push for the playoffs. They definitely, after beating the Browns, they definitely stay at home and continue that momentum against the Packers. There's going to be no bye week here to stop them, Eric. They're going to beat the Packers convincingly, and that rivalry is going to be crazy. But I have them beating the Packers, and we're going to be celebrating that day for sure.
Yeah. The crazy part about
8-7 right here.
8-7, Jose. You do got a 8-7, and Jose, like this is going to be the beauty about this, right? Because after the Browns game, and everything else is TBD for 2 out of the last 3 games. Because the next game, it's the Packers here at home. That could be a Sunday night football game. That could be a Sunday mid-afternoon game. You know, it could be one of those 2 games thrown in. Depending on how well they're going to be. Yeah, 100%. Again, this is where I say that this game is going to be a little wonky, or the Bears season schedule is going to be a little wonky, because the one thing for sure that we do have on a Sunday night football game, the Bears go to San Francisco against the 49ers on a Sunday night football game. Look, on paper, and we're just doing this based on paper and what we know. On paper, if the 49ers are healthy, they're probably one of the decent teams coming out of the NFC West.
Yep, I agree.
They still have a decent running game in
Christian
what's his
McCaffrey.
name? Christian McCaffrey. Thank you. Brandon Ayuk is going to come back after a serious injury. He's going to be back 100% healthy.
You know that coaching staff's going to have Brock Purdy looking good.
100% with Kyle Shanahan, right? George Kittle just signed a nice lengthy contract to be one of the highest paid tight end in this league. It's going to be a very difficult because defensively, the San Francisco 49ers will always play you tough.
Yep.
I got the Bears losing here, having them being that 9-7 by the last 2 games of the season.
I also see this being a trap game, but I don't have them losing. I think the Bears pull out a win. I think the Bears. I'm telling you, I think these last 4 games is where the Bears establish their playoff hopes and make that wild card push. I think the Bears beat the 49ers away. And look, I could see a reverse. I could totally see the Niners winning 100%. It all depends on what Niners team we see. I, for whatever reason, think the Niners stay the same as last year or take a step backward. I just think their time is up. I think they're on the decline. That's me. One injury on this team could really hurt this entire team, and
100%.
this late and deep in the season. Unfortunately, I see them, riddled with injuries again. So I think the Bears win here. They get a good win away against the 49ers, putting them at 9-7, Eric. 9-7. Now we're looking. Where you have them right now?
I too have them at 9-7.
There you go. I think the toxicness in us is coming out, is rearing its ugly head. And this next game, this very pivotal next home game against our rivals in Detroit,
will
really establish what you and I really feel about this team going forward. Will we have them at 9-8 or will we have them at 10-7? Eric, what say you?
The Bears are going to get swept by the Lions. I mean, the Bears are going to lose this game.
Wow, you got the Bears losing.
Psych! The Bears are beating the Lions here at home because Jared Goff cannot play in the cold. Jared Goff is horrible in cold weather games. And this is going to be in January, the new year, here at Soldier Field. The Chicago Bears are going to come in and whoop ass and sweep the Detroit Lions, my guys. My drop.
Lions, Byron, firing. Bears, baby. Bears,
baby.
Bears. The Bears. I also have the Bears winning. That's 4 straight, Eric. 4 straight in a row.
For you?
For me, for them to be at 10-7 at the end of the year, making the wild card just to get bounced in the first round. No, I'm just playing. But they're going to 100% beat the Lions. We're not going to let the Lions sweep us. This game is not only going to get Lions fans pissed because it's going to cost them the number 1 seed. This game is going to cost the Lions the number 1 seed. They're going to get dropped to 2 or 3, and the Bears will probably have to face them in the playoffs, which is great, which is fine because that's the tiebreaker, and we'll probably lose there. But that's okay because for me to even make the playoffs this year is the goal. I want to see them in the playoffs. I want to see them stack up against the upper echelon teams. People are scared of this season, saying it's tough. No, I bring this season on, Eric. I want to see how we fare.
I'm ready for it. I'm ready for it.
10-7, baby. We both got them
10-7. I got them at 10-7 too. I ain't gonna lie. I do have them at 10-7. We have it in a very different, weird way. I don't think I have the Bears even below 500 or at 500 at all. You actually have them at 500, below 500 for a period of time. Yep. It's a little bit. We get there. We got there a little bit differently, a little bit weird. But at the end of the day,
you have them on a winning streak in the beginning. I have them at the winning streak at the end.
I do. I really do. And I just because how the schedule's played out and what we really know or what we feel how this team is going to be.
Yeah.
Now, granted, I could at 10-7 is the best I could see the Chicago Bears. To be quite frank with you, Jose, I can actually see them having the opposite record of being at 7-10 this upcoming season too, as well. Because defensively, I do not think that they have enough to even stop most of these teams or some of these teams. Now you're right. What we said in the beginning of the show when we started this segment, we did say that there's a lot of teams out there that do not have a QB1, and by default, we kind of give the advantage there from the Chicago Bears. The Pittsburgh Steelers is one of the teams that you said that are coached very well, and that's probably the only team that I could kind of see them having a little trouble.
Well,
Look,
for me, it's the 49ers. You have them losing against the Niners.
yeah,
I have them winning, but I could totally see them losing to the Niners. Putting them at 9-8. I could see that. I could see that 100%.
hey, look, we're gonna be some fat asses at some point of this year, my guy, because
You already owes me wings for the Cubs.
no, sir, not yet. The
Hey.
Cubs, even they might have the easiest schedule from here on out, man. I don't think pitching can still last them that very long.
But as bad as pitching has been, they sweep the Marlins.
I don't know. Let me see what. But it's the Marlins. The Cubs trail 3-1.
But you said it. But you said it where they have an easy schedule, so they're going to win games regardless. And remember, the win total is what we bet. It's not
84.
3-1. Okay, they're losing 3-1.
87.
But no, it wasn't 87. No,
it was 84. It was 84.
It was 83 and a half.
83 and a half. Whatever.
Okay, well, they need to get to 84 in order for me to win the bet.
So. Right, 100%. 100%. 11-6. You know what? I think we got some hooters on us, Jose. From Tony. I don't think the Bears.
All right, Tony. Bet.
I don't think the Bears defensively have enough. Honestly, that's the one thing. Look, 10-7 to me is perfect if somehow, some way they make a trade for a defensive end player to help the defense side of the ball. With that being said, I can also see the Bears being 7-10. I can see them 8-9. I can see them 9-8 because in some of the games that we have them winning, they could easily lose to as well.
Yeah.
Like
the Niners could be a game they lose to. The I wouldn't be surprised if they lose to the Giants because
I wouldn't be surprised either.
Daboll was a good coach the year prior before last year.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody was talking about how he was a really good coach. He had a bad season last year when they traded away Barkley. They had no real quarterback.
Yep.
So you bring in a better quarterback in Russell Wilson. You can start establishing the type of offense you want. So that game could be a trap game for anybody.
100%.
So yeah, I can see a couple more losses too. And again, we don't know how Ben Johnson's going to fare as a head coach. Remember, we were hyped last year, man, and that the one thing about this season, Eric, that I want to say real quick before we end the show, I'm not gonna take losses personally, where I'm gonna be pissed, screaming, pissed off, because I think this year for me, we have to go through growing pains with this new head coach and this not rookie quarterback, but this young quarterback. I believe in both of them, so I'm willing to give them both the benefit of the doubt this year. At the same time, I do want to see them in the playoffs. But if it doesn't work out, I'm not going to take it personally because I think the Bears did everything they needed to do to be legitimate. They just got to find a way to sustain that success on the field. In years prior, they didn't want to do what was common sense, or for us to. But this year, you could tell Ryan Poles and McCaskey's, credit to them because they feel like it finally feels like they did enough to put a great product on the field. Now it's up to the coaching staff and the players to make that so.
100%, dude, and you're absolutely right. Everything that you say is spot on. And Tony also says it too as well. It's very spot on. I think we are our own enemy.
Yeah.
I think we are our own enemy this season.
Yeah.
And I agree 100%. Again, like the games, I can easily, even though we both have them losing against the Commanders, I can also see that as a win too. There's going to be a lot of games this year that a lot of the players that suffered last year are going to have a chip on their shoulder to show up. Obviously, they're going to have a chip on their shoulder because they went to Green Bay last season to end the season and win. And they want to continue that trend because they want to be known as the new big dogs in the NFC North, this up-and-coming team, this young team. You're right. We can also see situations that defensively the Bears do not have enough to stop anybody or even get to the quarterback. We don't know what they're going to have on the defense side of the ball. Even though we have a lot of excitement because of Ben Johnson and what the Bears did, that's right. And I mean right. For the Chicago Bears football team, there's still a lot of holes on this team defensively. Dennis Allen could do whatever, could work his wonders, could work his magic, and maybe, just maybe, we're just being overly dramatic about the defensive side of the ball. But we see no names outside of Montez Sweat.
Yep.
We don't know how the offensive line is going to look like. Is Darnell Wright going to move from right to left? The kid that they picked up in this upcoming draft, the one that Seth Rollins, Trapillo, is he going to be the monster that he is on the right side of the ball? And are the Bears going to have a decent offensive line simply because of the moves that they made this offseason to rectify the mistakes that they've been made years prior to get a quarterback standing up? Caleb Williams with another year of experience here in the NFL, knowing the NFL speed. But now he has a rookie head coach calling plays, even though it's not his first time calling plays. But it's his first time actually being a head coach for an NFL football team. We have him at 10-7, Jose. This is just us being fans. But in all reality, this team can easily be 7-10. But guess what? In my book, that's an improvement, because if you guys know me and have been listening to us since we first started this podcast, what's always been my saying? Be better than last year. And 7 wins is better than 5. And I know some of you guys want playoff or bust. I keep hearing that. John's the main proponent for that one, playoff or bust. You say you want the Bears to be the playoffs. I just want the Bears to be a well-ran organization where if that's 7 wins, 8 wins, or 10 wins. And I think this year I'm just like you. I'm not going to get upset at the Bears if they lose the games, but I'm sure going to celebrate the fuck out of them when they do win games. I can tell you that for sure.
And we're going to celebrate the wins, and we're going to try to pick apart the losses and see and figure out what the reason is. You know what I mean? If I become depressed, it's because either A, something happens to Caleb, or he's just not the one. And
not the one. And I think that's the one. Outside of injuries,
I think, and you will know if he isn't. If it's very apparent, then I feel like depression will start to creep in a little bit.
100%.
But I don't see that happening. I don't. Even saying it feels wrong. I don't see it happening. I think he is. I legitimately
think he's legit too. I feel it. And again, like we have him at 10-7. We both have him many different ways. This is how we definitely feel about the Chicago Bears. Yeah. There's a long winning streak from you, and a long losing streak from you too as well. And I just have him maintaining as like losing 2, winning 2, losing 2, winning 2, but never being below 500.
I feel like both are possible for sure.
Both are definitely possible. But for sure, Jose, I think what we're gonna see, and we're gonna do this one more time before the season starts. We're after the Bears, if the Bears make any trades to bulk up their defensive side of the ball, training camp and all that stuff, we're gonna do this one more time. I have right here 10-7.
And if other teams, like those teams that we talked about that don't have established quarterbacks, if they get an established quarterback and we're like, okay, maybe this team might look different going into this game. Maybe we change our minds, right? But yeah, we'll definitely continue and go around the league throughout this offseason for sure.
100%. Windy City Rundown here on Facebook and on YouTube, guys. Make sure you follow us on all our social media platforms, on Facebook, on YouTube, on Instagram, on TikTok, on Twitter. Guys, hit the bell on our Facebook page to get notified when our shows are live. And also, as always, comment, like, subscribe, and share all of our episodes here. If you guys want an opportunity to be a sponsor for our show, for some advertisement for your company, let us know. The fake soccer fan right there, Jose, with the Inter Miami jersey, right there with you guys. Jose, we for sure we're getting Hooters from Tony. That's 100% sure.
I'm not a Miami fan. I bought the jersey on sale.
It's all right. We're getting Hooters from Tony. That's a fact. He has them at 11-6. You and I both have them early on as 10-7. It could easily change the other way, one way or another. But we'll see.
They're a real close 9-18.
So. They're a super close 9-18. That's for damn sure. Or 8-19. That's for damn sure. But we will see. The NBA is rigged 100%. Yeah. And Jose, this was a great episode. We will see you guys next week, same time, same place at 7:30. Guys, like I said, follow us, like, subscribe, share our show. Make sure you give us a big shout out on any of the platforms that you guys want to share us on. Follow us on all our social media platforms. I am Eric Avila. Jose, do you have any last words?
Yep.
That's it? Just yep?
Yep, that's it. All right.
I'm Eric Avila. That's Jose Contreras. We will see you guys next week. I will end the show. We'll see you guys then.
Oh, shit. Here we go again.
He's running like he's got a lobster down his pants, showing that he is as slippery as a bar of soap like poop through a diarrhea-infected goose.
Commented about it.
That's fine. That's fine. I'm not laughing about it. You think this is funny? I take this serious.
I'm not.
Real serious. I put my heart and soul into this every single week.
Are we done here?
It's about time.